Imagine coming home and realizing your entire life had been erased overnight. Your wife replaced you. Your home was stolen. And worst of all, you never even saw it coming. What would you do if the person you trusted most betrayed you in the worst way possible? Betrayal. It doesn't just break your heart. It shatters everything you thought you knew about love, about trust, about the person you once shared a bed with. I never thought my wife was capable of this. We had built a life together, made promises, shared dreams. But all of that meant nothing when she decided to throw me away like yesterday's trash. I remember standing outside my own house that night, my hands shaking as I pounded on the door. My heart raced. My mind refused to believe what my eyes were seeing. But there he was, smug, arrogant, standing in my doorway like he owned the place. And my wife, she didn't even flinch. She just looked at me with cold indifference and said, "You don't live here anymore." But she had no idea who she was dealing with. Have you ever experienced betrayal like this? What would you have done if you were in my shoes? Drop a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoy real-life stories of revenge and justice, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's dive into this insane story. My name is Alex, and for the longest time, I believed I had the perfect marriage. My wife, Lisa, and I had been together for 8 years. Nearly a decade of love, laughter, and shared memories. We weren't perfect, of course. No marriage is. We had our fair share of arguments, disagreements over small things like where to go for dinner or how to spend the weekend. But through it all, I believed we had something real, something unshakable. I was wrong. It didn't happen overnight. If it had, maybe I would have seen it coming. Maybe I wouldn't have been so blind. But betrayal creeps in slowly, like a shadow stretching across a room as the sun sets. So subtle at first that you don't even notice it until you're sitting in complete darkness. First, it was little things. The way Lisa started pulling away, her laughter not quite reaching her eyes anymore. The way she was always glued to her phone, smiling at messages she wouldn't let me see. I'd ask her what was so funny, and she'd lock her screen and say, "Oh, just a meme." But I never got to see those memes. Then there were the sudden changes in her appearance. Lisa had always taken care of herself, but now it was different. She started dressing up just to run errands. Perfume she used to save for special occasions became an everyday thing. At first, I told myself I was just overthinking. She had been feeling down lately. Maybe she was trying to boost her confidence. Maybe she just needed space. But deep down, a quiet voice whispered that something wasn't right. I remember the exact moment I truly felt the shift. We were watching TV one night, something we'd done 1,000 times before. I reached over to hold her hand, a simple, familiar gesture. But instead of squeezing my fingers like she always had, she flinched, like my touch repulsed her. The reaction was so small, so fleeting, that if I had blinked, I might have missed it. But I didn't blink. I forced out a chuckle, pretending I hadn't noticed. "What? Do I have cooties now?" I joked, nudging her playfully. She rolled her eyes, shifting away slightly. "You're imagining things, Alex." But I wasn't imagining it. After that night, everything escalated. Lisa started picking fights over nothing. Tiny, insignificant things that never used to bother her before. If I forgot to take out the trash, she'd snap at me like I'd committed a crime. If I asked about her day, she'd sigh heavily, as if talking to me was a burden. And if I ever dared to ask why she was staying out so late, her defenses went up like a steel wall. "God, Alex, why are you so controlling?" she snapped one evening when I questioned why she was home past midnight. Controlling? Me? I had never been the jealous type. I had never once gone through her phone, never questioned her before. But suddenly I was the bad guy, and then came the words that shattered whatever hope I had left. "You don't trust me?" she said one night, her voice laced with irritation. She crossed her arms, rolling her eyes like I was being ridiculous. Maybe that's the real problem here. But trust isn't the problem when the truth is staring you in the face. I couldn't ignore the signs anymore. Every late-night excuse, every distant glance, every forced smile. It all painted a picture I didn't want to see. But denial wasn't an option anymore. I needed to know the truth, no matter how much it would destroy me. So I started watching closer. The first thing I did was check our phone bill. My hands trembled as I scrolled through the call logs, my stomach twisting into knots. Hundreds of messages, long, back-and-forth conversations with an unknown number. At all hours. Early mornings, late nights, even in the middle of the day when she was supposed to be at work. I could have confronted her right then. I could have demanded answers. But I knew Lisa. She'd turn it around, make me the villain. No, I needed undeniable proof. So I waited. That night, as she lay beside me, peacefully asleep, I made my move. I had never gone through her phone before. I had never felt the need to. But now I had no choice. With careful hands, I reached for her phone, barely breathing as I unlocked it. And there it was, his name. Jay. My chest tightened as I tapped the messages. The words on the screen made my stomach lurch. Can't wait to see you again. I miss you already. Wish he wasn't home so I could stay longer. My hands clenched around the phone so tightly I thought I might break it. My breath came in short, sharp gasps. This wasn't paranoia. This wasn't me imagining things or being an insecure husband. This was real. She wasn't just pulling away. She was giving herself to someone else. But I couldn't lose control. Not yet. I needed more than texts. I needed to see it with my own eyes. So I played along. I smiled in the mornings. I kissed her goodbye. I acted like the same clueless husband I had been before, nodding along when she told me she was going out with friends, forcing a laugh when she joked about how busy work had been lately. I even encouraged her. Go have fun, I told her one evening. My voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. And every time she left, I followed. The first night, I trailed her from a safe distance, my heart hammering against my ribs. She wasn't meeting friends. She wasn't working late. She drove across town to a quiet apartment complex, a place I had never seen before. I parked far enough away to avoid suspicion and watched as she got out of the car. Her body language completely different from the woman she had become around me. She was excited, eager. Then I saw him, a tall, broad-shouldered man waiting at the entrance. He grinned when he saw her, and she practically threw herself into his arms. I felt something inside me crack as they disappeared inside, the door closing behind them like a coffin lid sealing shut. And just like that, I knew. My marriage wasn't dying. It was already dead. But something about it didn't sit right. The way she had been acting lately, the way she had been pushing me away so aggressively, it wasn't just guilt. It was something else. She wasn't just cheating. She was planning something. I just didn't know how far she'd go. Until the night I came home and my keys no longer worked. I pounded on the door, my fists slamming against the wood with a force I barely controlled. Fury and disbelief surged through my veins, burning hotter with every second. My home, my life, and now I couldn't even get inside? The door swung open, and there he was, Jay, standing in my doorway, shirtless, smirking, like he belonged there, like I was the intruder in my own damn house. He leaned casually against the frame, his confidence infuriating. He didn't flinch, didn't look surprised, didn't even have the decency to pretend he felt guilty. Instead, he cocked his head, amusement flickering in his eyes. Problem? His voice was smooth, mocking. My blood boiled, my fists clenched. I wanted to wipe that smirk off his face so badly it hurt. Then I saw her, Lisa, standing just behind him, dressed in one of her silky robes, the one I had bought her last Christmas. Her arms were crossed over her chest, her face blank, emotionless, cold, unbothered, as if she had been expecting this, as if she had planned it. Then she spoke, her voice like ice, slicing through me without hesitation. You don't live here anymore, Alex. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. My breath caught. My world tilted. I blinked, trying to process what she had just said, trying to understand how the woman I had loved, the woman I had built a life with, could stand there and say something so cruel, so final. I forced out a bitter laugh, shaking my head. What the hell are you talking about? This is my house. She didn't flinch, didn't even look guilty. She just shrugged. Not anymore. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. Lisa, stop playing games and let me in. She tilted her head, feigning sympathy. I filed for separation. It's done. Leave. The weight of her words settled over me like a suffocating fog. She had planned this. All of it. Every cold glance. Every late night. Every fight she started just to push me away. And now, standing in my own doorway, locked out of my own home, I realized something chilling. Lisa wasn't just cheating. She was erasing me. She wanted me gone. Out of the picture. Like I never even existed. But she had no idea what I had in store for them. Lisa and Jay thought they had won. They thought they had humiliated me, stripped me of my dignity, erased me from my own life, cast me aside like I was nothing. They thought I would crumble, that I would beg, that I would drown in the misery they had created for me. But they didn't know me at all. I don't go down that easily. I fought back, not with violence, not with reckless desperation, but with strategy, with patience, with cold, calculated precision. The very next morning, while they were probably lying in my bed, thinking they had conquered me, I was already making my move. I hired the best lawyer I could find, the kind of lawyer who didn't just win cases but obliterated opponents. I spent days, weeks, digging through every financial record, every shared account, every single detail Lisa thought I was too blind to notice. And then, I found it, the trail of lies, the hidden transactions, the proof of her affair, and even worse, her attempts to secretly siphon money from our accounts. By the time we stood before the court, I wasn't the man who had been thrown out of his own home. I was the man who had come back to reclaim everything that was stolen from him. Lisa had expected a clean break. She thought she'd walk away with everything, the house, the assets, maybe even alimony. But when the judge saw the evidence of her deception, her betrayal, her financial fraud, she didn't just lose the house. She lost everything. The settlement left her with nothing but regret. No house, no money, no support. Just the cold realization that she had gambled and lost. And Jay? He didn't stick around. The moment Lisa was broke and legally tied up in lawsuits, he vanished. Just like that. No goodbyes, no promises, nothing. Turns out, his love wasn't for her. It was for the lifestyle she could no longer afford. And me? I walked away with my head high, watching as the woman who betrayed me was left with nothing but the consequences of her own choices. Because revenge isn't always about getting even. Sometimes it's just about standing back and letting karma do its job. What do you think? Did I handle it the right way? Or would you have done something different? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love real-life cheating stories with shocking twists, hit that subscribe button. There's always another betrayal waiting to be exposed.